Shane swallowed the last of his coffee, and Priscilla glanced up at him with a smile of confidence in her newfound husband, but she was still concerned. Shane struck a new match and ignited his stogie that had gone out, which nonchalantly attracted unwanted attention. "Hey, hombre, how much for the senorita?" the young Mexican queried. "She's mine, boy," Shane asserted as he blew out the spent matchstick with a breathful of smoke. "She's muy bonito," the young vaquero realized as he expressed his desire to the others with him. "Why don't you just go over there and take her, amigo?" the fat one suggested. "Yeah, why are you asking? Go take her," the shaggy Comanchero encouraged. "Let us know when you're done so we can have her too," the fat man insisted. Sam stood and frowned. He didn't like the way this was going, not one bit. "Yeah, boy, come and get her," Shane charged. Priscilla sat speechless as the young man arose and advanced towards her. Terror had her frozen in place. But when the vaquero reached out to grab her, Shane swiftly grabbed his wrist, and while pulling it away, he twisted it. The man, still in motion, fell forward, face first, into the table. Blood splattered all over his face with a crunch and thud sound as the table and the young man's countenance collided. Shane reached around the vaquero and pulled the Star 38 out of his holster, and Shane put the gun's muzzle to the back of the accoster's head and blew the young Mexican's brains out through his forehead all over the table. Priscilla screamed in sudden shock by the surprise. Sam knew that it was on as he grabbed the Winchester double-barreled 12-gauge shotgun that he had hidden beneath the bar, and when the fat man got up to retaliate for the death of their friend, his head exploded into shattered fragments. Brains, bone, and blood sprayed out by the buckshot that was released from both barrels. Shane dropped the Star on the table with Priscilla to use as he pirouetted, while drawing his Spiller and Burr. The last Mexican had just brandished his Colt 45 Dragoon from under his poncho, but he wasn't quick enough as Shane perforated his chest with 6 44-size holes. The velocity sent the bandit reeling backwards and flopping onto the floor. Sensing the danger was over, Priscilla jumped up from her seat and ran into Shane's arms. "All is well," Shane announced, while stroking back a loose lock of her hair from her face with the index finger of his left hand, while holding his smoking weapon in his right hand. But she couldn't hear him, as her ears were still ringing from the report of the firearms. Shane kissed her sensually, calming her. "You're all right," he confirmed. Priscilla looked down at the carcasses on the floor and then back up to Shane. "Shouldn't we say a prayer or something?" she empathized. Shane shook his head. "The good book says that God doesn't hear sinners," Shane decreed. "It's true. A preacher showed it to me once," Sam followed up. "Then how are the sinners supposed to repent?" she questioned. Shane bowed his head with a slight nod. "Ain't sure how, darlin'," Shane confessed. Then Shane could clearly hear that all was calm. "Come on, darlin'," he coaxed as he encouraged her towards the door. "You ain't gonna leave me to clean up this mess, are you?" Sam wondered. "Just be glad you're alive to clean it up," Priscilla exclaimed, while Shane reloaded his firearm. Then he spun his revolver around his finger into his holster. She grabbed his hat and coat and put them on him, but it wasn't needed because the rains had ceased. Together they left the saloon, hand in hand as they rushed down off of the porch. She saw a gray horse with a white rump and black spots like freckles all over it tied to the hitching post, and she had to giggle with excitement as they hurried over to the Appaloosa. Shane untied his beast and then sat his woman in his saddle, and then he swung up onto the steed behind her. He twirled the stallion about while rousting him with the spurs. The horse bolted forth with a galloping gait, and they departed town, riding out a dry gulch and leaving the past to become history, to begin a new future. The end. This is written by Ghostwriter. Rewritten March 20th, 2020.